On debate number 1, Pawan Verma of the JDU, Maruf Raza, a strategic affairs expert, India's most trusted strategic affairs voice, Maruf Raza, Sambit Patra of the BJP, Sanjay Jha of the Congress Party, Jayanta Ghoshal, editor of the Anand Bazar Patrika from Delhi, and we have with us Kamal Mitra Chenoy, professor of JNU and from the Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you very much. Let's begin. How did this happen, Sambit Patra? You got the map of India wrong. I mean, this is disgraceful.
Arnav, at the outset itself, let me clarify a very important point, that no MoUs are ever signed with maps in it. They are documents of agreement which have a dotted line.
This is a press release.
And no map whatsoever.
This is a press release put out. This is a press release put out on the sidelines of the MoU being signed. So let's not deny, what exactly happened. The MoUs were signed on September 17th.
MoU documentation, you can please...
The MoUs were signed on September 17th. Sambit Patra. Sambit Patra, did the additional Chief Secretary of Gujarat? Did the additional Chief Secretary of Gujarat?
Are never signed with maps in
Oh my God,
did the additional Chief... There are no maps attached to the agreement.
All right, so
this is categorical. Well, yes, if a press release was distributed with the map, then the Minister of State has clarified that we would surely be investigating into it to see whether a wrong map was put in the press release.
Investigating?
Not in the MoU.
You sure? No. So, and I'm sorry. I don't understand this kind of logic anymore. Would you have been quiet if the additional Chief Secretary of a Congress-ruled or a JDU-ruled state would have put out a wrong map of India that challenged India's claims or challenged India's position of the map? Would you have been silent if the whole of Jammu and Kashmir was displayed on the map of the government of India as a disputed territory? And even if that was not in the MoU, the fact is it was an official press release. Hand goes up there. Sanjay Jha, I think, is taking on Sambit Patra right on top today. Yes, Sanjay Jha, please. Sanjay Jha is taking you on, sir. 1 minute. Sanjay Jha is taking you on, sir. Let him, sir.
Who in front of the Chinese
Arnav,
about the border dispute for the first time after all these years. Are we doubting our Prime Minister's intentions?
Sir, I'm talking about the magnitude of the goof up. I'm talking about the magnitude of the goof up, which you have not admitted.
Yeah.
Which you are covering up for.
We will surely investigate.
Investigate. You give up 1,000. An official map shows 1,20,000 square kilometers of India, and Arunachal Pradesh, very much a part of India with 1.5 million people, million citizens, shown as disputed. Right. And you can't even come on Newshour and say, I'm really sorry, this is inexcusable, it should have never happened. Sanjay Jha.
One thing actually has to go out to the people of the country that MoUs never have maps attached.
Oh, please,
what is particularly disconcerting.
Yes, a wrong press release was given out. It is a matter of investigation, and heads would surely roll out as the Home Minister has.
Sanjay Jha.
Sambit, just give me a minute. You know the point, Sambit, that we need to recognize that just a few days ago, not even weeks ago, the Chinese government released its official map claiming Arunachal Pradesh as part of China. And I think, this is something which is absolutely preposterous, that at a time when the Chinese president is visiting India, the Indian Prime Minister is present there, an integral, indivisible, inseparable, you can use any other word, inalienable part of India, which is not just Arunachal Pradesh, but even Aksai Chin, by the way. We believe this is part of India, and this is India's territories. So you can't really, I think this is a blasphemous error, frankly.
India,
and why
we may be different political
one minute,
let me finish something.
You cannot send such an image of subservience, subordination and softness here. I think the Indian government, please try and understand. Sambit, the Chinese can exploit it in a global media. They can say that this has an official endorsement because the Prime Minister is present when an official sign-up is happening between one state and one other province of China. I mean, you can't afford to dismiss this as, some kind of a political attack on you. This is not about politics. You've got to recognize that today we don't even allow magazines to come to India which show Jammu and Kashmir as a disputed territory, because that is a misrepresentation of fact.
The Congress tried
now
to
1 minute, 1 minute. I am not making a comment on Mr. Modi's 56-inch ki chhati statements. But please let me assure you, India's territorial boundaries are not up for a real estate transaction.
And there were dotted lines.
India's territorial boundaries are not up for a real estate transaction. This is not part of a commercial deal with China.
You know, Sambit Patra.
You got to be sacrosanct.
Sambit Patra, while
got to treat India's borders with respect.
Sambit Patra, just a minute. Kamal Mitra Chana wants to come in. Pawan Verma wants to come in. Maruf and Jayanti are observing this debate with mild amusement, if I may say so. Now, Sambit Patra, understand this tonight. You know, you have no place to run. And you cannot afford to put up a muster an excuse for the simple reason that this press release is behalf of a state government issued by the second most important bureaucrat of the state government. The Congress party says in that case you just cancel those MoUs and do them all over again. And Arunachal Pradesh is marked out.
That is why the Congress party is misleading the nation, Arnab. You have to understand the Congress.
Arnab, I want to give a context to this.
MoUs have maps attached to it. MoUs never have maps attached to it.
If those maps are part of the press release, do you realize the importance of press kits? Do you realize the importance of media kits? They are distributed, they are copied, they are distributed all over the world on the internet. An official document, a map becomes an attachment to the MoU.
But you should say
nobody is challenging your MoU if it's good for the country. But an attachment of a map can send an extremely wrong signal. It's as if you are admitting that Arunachal Pradesh is not a part of India.
You know, I have got a
ammunition and arsenal to the Chinese.
Jammu and
Kashmir will be aggressive and acquisitive in the whole intent.
I have got a debate on that. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 second, please. Gentlemen, 1 second, please. Gentlemen, 1 second, ceasefire. I have an official clarification that's now being sent out by the Gujarat government. I may say so. This clarification is completely and wholly incomplete. It says that the map is showing the exact location of the Guangdong province of China and the Guangzhou city in China. Are we talking about this province and this city? No, we're talking about Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh. Then it says it is neither signed by any government of Gujarat officials nor endorsed by the government of Gujarat. They acknowledge the map is there, the map is given out as part of an official press release. Then they say the map shows the location and other data such as geographical area, population per capita, etc. and was not part of the MoU signed. So this is the same kind of feeble explanation that Sambit Patra is putting out today. I'm really sorry. If the BJP spokesperson says the Congress party is lying, if the BJP wants to say on the Newshour tonight that Sanjay Jha is lying...
Not lying, it is misleading the nation for political gains. It is misleading the nation.
And misleading...
You are the one,
Abhishek
who showed that map?
You know, I'm stunned and shocked.
You cannot have a dialogue just between...
Pawan Verma
mocking a map given in an official document.
And this is happening at a time when there are arguments, you know, the Chinese can misunderstand it. They can even misunderstand this as appeasement, perhaps. I'm not saying that it is. But you give them that room. Pawan Verma coming into the debate. 1 second. Pawan Verma, please.
It's surrender.
Pawan Verma, please.
Please ask Sambit and Sanjay. They have valid points if they have. Let others speak. See, Arnab, let us not say that it was the intention of the government to seize Indian territory. Let us also for a moment admit that perhaps it could have been a clerical error. But nevertheless, I want to say on record on your program that it is a self-goal of unforgivable proportions, especially in the context of the Chinese president's most recent visit. And please give me 30 seconds to explain why. We are dealing with a country like China. In May 2013, when their Prime Minister came, they sent a small body of troops across the line of actual control as a provocation.
That's
but
right.
There were not more than 40 troops. This time, during the President's visit, coinciding with his visit, it was 1,500 troops sent into the Chumar region.
Deliberately.
Backed by logistics, including food supplies by helicopter.
Deliberately.
It was a deliberately planned provocation because the Chinese president currently is the most powerful man in China. He heads both the military commission of the Chinese Communist Party and of the Chinese government. So it's not the PLA playing footsie on its own. In this scenario, you have actually, post the visit, the release of a map which actually shows a volitional surrender of territory, even if it's a clerical error.
Absolutely.
It is unforgivable.
Yes, it is.
And I want to make two more quick points. I want to say to you, why is it that 5 MoUs are signed only with one state? Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister of
what
the
are you
country,
alleging?
and if it is signed with a state, the overall supervision has to be that of the nodal ministry, the Ministry of External Affairs. This is not a bilateral visit between China and Gujarat. So it cannot just be attributed. So we have to understand this. We have to also understand, Arnab, that when you carry out policy, foreign policy in such a hurry, please don't get angry. Please see the objectivity of it. I am not blaming every initiative. Some of them have been laudable. But in 100 days, look at the amount of time devoted to foreign policy. Foreign policy is a very carefully thought out, calibrated initiative based on a strategic doctrine. It cannot be done through ceremonial and pageantry with one visit quickly following on another. Such mistakes are bound to happen, and they are a great embarrassment.
Yeah, even
there is a lot to answer for.
No, but you know, no, 1 second. No, Sambit, before you come in, please understand. No, understand this, please. What you have done is inexcusable. Not what you have done, what the Gujarat government has done is inexcusable. But by refusing to accept the mistake, is unforgivable. Your own Minister of State for Home, Kiren Rijiju, hails from Arunachal Pradesh, and his own state has been marked as disputed by your state government. It is inexcusable. You can't get away saying we didn't mean to. I mean, for God's sake, what kind of a government do you run there? You run a government that runs on Wikipedia, that you pick up the wrong maps and put it up there?
That's right.
I think the country deserves an apology tonight. Yes, Manu wants to come in before that. Kamal Mitra Chana wants to come into the debate.
And you can see what the Gujarat government has categorically mentioned.
I have that piece of paper as well. I don't know what you're waving. I just read it out.
The exact location of the 2 provinces in China, and no Gujarat official has put its signature in it.
So, Mr. Patra,
government in fact goes
so Mr. Patra, let me ask you.
Of data and geographical areas.
Yes, so Mr. Patra. Mr. Patra, 1 second. Don't answer the wrong question.
Attempt to disown a mistake.
You are attempting to disown a mistake. The MoU does not carry the maps, but doesn't the press release? It is the press release we are talking about, an official press release we are talking about, not the MoU. And by the way, Mr. Patra, as the clarification claims... 1 second.
It goes to the international media.
Why don't you admit the mistake? Kamal Mitra Chenoy. Yes, Mr. Chenoy, Professor Chenoy.
It might be a clerical error and your mistake was not catching it. Look, there's been a very serious mistake in a map which has serious consequences given our relationship with China and also the sensitivity of Jammu and Kashmir.
That's right.
This is not the only mistake. Today, a professor at City College, Tan Sen, a professor of Asian Affairs, has said that some of the translations that were put up in Gujarat were of terrible quality. Now you cannot keep doing this, and I think Pavan has a correct point. If you are going neck deep into foreign policy and moving very swiftly, you have to be extremely careful about these things. And maps are seen to represent sovereignty or disputed areas. And it is ironic that the BJP, the successor of the Jansang, should make mistakes about JNK and China. So it's not enough to just say we are sorry, identify the mistake, say this is why it occurred,
that's right,
why other mistakes of translation occurred,
can I make an
and we are sorry.
Over here?
You must do that. You can't have some clerk saying I'm sorry. This was a thing affecting.
No, Mr. Kamal Mitra Chenoy, just in order to, the kind of prudence that Mr. Narendra Modi's government has shown.
No, but some ways you could have stopped it from blowing up if you had intervened just then.
We should applaud to it. But instead of applauding to the kind of prudence that Mr. Narendra Modi's government has shown in
no, you are right in that mistake. It is appalling.
You are trying to bring down your own government, a government whose intentions are absolutely clear. We want a very strong diplomacy as far as China is concerned. He's the only prime minister
We are not blaming Narendra Modi
categorically
just
has
like
said
that.
we want the
We are
border
saying that Mr. Modi as the Prime Minister
but it is
has
the
to
politics
take
I-
you are trying to
I think
Mr. Rajnath Singh was not talking.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I think Sambit Patra.
The Chinese president
No, I think
have to take some responsibility for a wrong map.
You see, my
This
point
map
is
very sensitive.
My point is
the
what
Home Ministry has said we would be investigating into it. If any wrong has been done, we'll surely look into it. It is not a matter that we would not be investigating. But the issue is the way we are conducting a debate, questioning the intention of the foreign diplomacy is wrong somewhere.
No,
and as far as Congress is concerned, let me bring a very important point over here. Congress appointed interlocutors for Jammu Kashmir who addressed the Pak-occupied Kashmir as Pakistan-administered Kashmir. They literally gave away Jammu Kashmir's POK portion to Pakistan, saying that
So are you competing with them
Kashmir.
on that?
No, we are not.
Are you competing with them? What kind of argument is that?
With them, in fact, most of your
What kind of defense is this?
At best, it may have been a clerical error, and we are investigating into it. But their intentions were wrong. Most of the problems that we are facing today is because of a Nehruvian policy.
Mr. Patra, Maruf Raza and Jayanta Ghoshal need to come into the debate.
But
of the
Sambit,
Chinese
why not admit
aggression
you made a
where
mistake?
Arunachal Pradesh is concerned.
Sambit, just admit you've made a mistake. Why
Admit
can't
you made a mistake. And look at how colossal this mistake is.
Why
Maruf, Sambit, listen to others.
Are hell-bound to prove that the Indian government made a mistake.
Can I come in?
I'm sorry, but can Sambit, will you give space?
Why do you want that? Yes. Why do you
give
that we
space?
admit that we made a mistake? We are
Will you give space? Why should you? Would you have been forgiving? Has Arunachal Pradesh not been marked out in dots in the press release that has been issued? Has the press release not been issued by the Gujarat government? Was the press release not issued at a time when MoUs were being signed during Xi Jinping's visit here? Do you therefore not, in a way, through that press release, acknowledge Arunachal as a disputed territory as well? And why should they? Why give an opportunity, an arm and a leg on the other side? And most importantly, why are you being so much in denial tonight? Why don't you admit? Why don't you admit this is unforgivable? And what kind of a government are you running if you didn't even notice that somebody did this?
No,